What's going on, guys? Welcome to Leafs Chatter. This is my first video. Never done one before, but I've been following the Leafs for quite a while, and I figured, you know what, I'll make a video and I'll talk about them. Now, without further ado, let's get into some Leafs chatter. So, to start off, we'll get through, potential signings as well as most recent trades and signings that the Leafs have got. We'll start first with Matias Maccelli. Now, I think this was a solid pickup for the Leafs. Solid trade. You give up a third round pick, and yeah, it has a chance to become a second. But I mean, the guy's got to get 51 points, and we got to make the playoffs. If he does that, that second round pick's nothing. That's a steal. And if he doesn't, he only has the 1 year left. So if he has a terrible season, you took a gamble, you lost. And then, either you could re-sign him maybe if you put up like okay numbers, or you just let him walk. But he's not super big, but he's like an average, I guess, height, 5'11", 185 pounds. Now, the reason why we got this guy is there was rumors that he didn't like Utah. I know he said in the presser that he did. You have to say that. There's some rumors going on that he didn't like Utah. He loved Arizona, where he played amazing. So 2022, 2023, he played solid. He had 49 points, 11 goals, 38 assists in 64 games, which is really good. And the season after that, the 2023-2024 season, 57 points. He had 17 goals, 40 assists in 82 games. That's insane. If he could put up that production, yeah, it's not Marner, but like if you could put up like 50 to 60 points, that's at least a good chunk of what Marner put up. That's pretty solid. So I don't have a problem with this. He had an off season in Utah, but when you look at who he was playing with, he was also playing with Lawson Crouse, who Lawson Crouse also had a pretty shitty season. So, maybe he comes to Toronto, he likes it here, put him on a line either with Matthews. I think I'd put I feel like you got to put Max Domi there, but they'll workshop that. They'll figure out what to do there. But he'd also do good on the second line. I just feel that line is a little too soft. Johnny T, Willie, and Maccelli. I feel like you need a power forward there. Like even Maccelli was playing with a power forward. I mean, I feel like you should put him with somebody. I mean, if you're gonna put him with Matthews, at least Nyes is there. But even Matthews is a big boy too, so all he has to do is dish the puck. Yeah, he has to score, but as long as he dishes the puck, he'll be pretty solid. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Now, Nick Waugh, big boy. I mean, we were gonna get nothing from Marner, so I'm happy we got at least something back. He helps us out for sure. Gives us that depth down the middle. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. I'm just on Hockey Reference here, but I think he weighs a little more than that. I think he's like pushing like 210 if I'm not mistaken. But he's a big boy. He puts up pretty solid numbers. 39 points, 30 points, 41 points, 31 points. I mean, last season it wasn't as good as the year prior, but I mean for a third liner, and he was kind of going up and down the lineup because he's very versatile. 15 goals, 16 assists, total of 31 points in 71 games. That's solid. I take that any day. And he's a big boy. He plays physical. He has a little bit of that in your face personality, which is good. And that's something that the Leafs need. Those two right now, pretty damn solid. I have no problems with those. I think those are going to be great additions to the team, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Now, I'll get into Michael Pezzetta at the end, because I actually really like Pezzetta. We'll talk about him in a bit. I just want to talk about Jack Roslovic. Now, his name's been coming up a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not too high on Jack Roslovic. I know he had a good season. Like it wasn't great, but it was he had 39 points, 22 goals, 17 assists. I just don't think he's the guy we need. I feel like if you're gonna play put someone on that Matthews line, or maybe you want to throw somebody on that second line, I think he's a right wing. Yeah, so realistically, he'd probably go on the top line with Matthews. I don't know. I feel like you need somebody with a different DNA, and I feel like this guy doesn't have that. He already got Maccelli. He's kind of a softer player, but he's just more of a playmaker. That's just how he is. I feel like you need a little bit more bite. Sucks we didn't get Marchand, but that was a long shot. So I don't know. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about Roslovic. I'm not too high on him. I mean, if he comes for like a good price, I'd consider it. But I mean, if he's asking for like, I don't want to say stupid money, but if he's asking for like 3.5, 4 mil, I mean, he had 22 goals. I don't know what he's going to be asking for. I think his contract right now is like 2.8. So he definitely wants a raise. I don't know. Would you pay like 3.5, 4 mil for Roslovic? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd rather get Bertuzzi back. There's talks about they might buy out some players. Chicago. I'd take Bertuzzi back in a heartbeat. If we're not going to get a Kadri back or anything like that, Kadri would be insane. But I'd take Bertuzzi. He was a little streaky, but I thought he played okay in the playoffs, and he played really good on the line with Domi Matthews when Marner was injured. Domi Matthews Burt was an insane line. That line was pretty damn solid. I'd love to see that again. Yeah, we'll see about Roslovic though. He's not my first option. A guy I do like for depth is Luke Kunin. Luke Kunin, he played for San Jose. He ended up getting traded to Columbus. I think it was near the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. He ended up getting traded. He only played 12 games with them, got 0 points, but he did have 18 points in the season with San Jose, and he's a physical guy. Like imagine that fourth line. You have Kunin. You can put Kunin on the right, and then you got Lorenz and Lawton. That's a physical line. Like that line's gonna have at least over like 300, 400 hits. So it's gonna be annoying to play against. Now, saying like that's if we sign them. I think that gives you that extra depth if you need, because they're durable players. I think that's how you win the Stanley Cup. You need to have depth players that just play the game right in the playoffs hard. They play big. They get those dirty, greasy goals in front of the net because they just get into those pretty much those dirty areas that not a lot of players like getting into. And they're durable. They can take hits. They can dish them out too. I mean, look at Florida. So I take Luke Kunin in a heartbeat. And the good thing about Kunin is it can also increase your depth. Like Kunin's a bona fide fourth liner. Same with Pizzetta, which I'll start talking about Pizzetta. Like if you have a fourth line, I know Pizzetta didn't have a great season last year, but if you have a fourth line against like a tougher team, like let's say you're going up against like a Boston, Florida, Tampa, those grittier teams. I mean, you have a checking line of Pizzetta, Kunin, and Lorenz. Like no one's gonna want to play against that line. They're actually all pretty decent defensively. Kunin was on San Jose, so he's a little tougher to gauge. Pizzetta's actually not bad at all defensively, believe it or not. He actually had pretty solid analytics. People were saying that just from I think just those those analytic guys. Apparently, he's not terrible defensively. He gets back. He finishes his checks. He had a shitty offensive season last year. I'm not saying he's a game changer because he's not, but he definitely helps that durability. The guy's a fucking nail gun. He's gonna just hit everything, get back on D. I think if you put him with a guy like Lorenz, like obviously we don't have Kunin, but like let's just say it's Lawton. Lawton's pretty good at playmaking. He can get into dirty areas. Same with Pizzetta and Lorenz, but Lorenz is really good at using his body and creating plays. And I think all Lawton has to do is just go to the front of the net, and that's all Pizzetta has to do as well. He can I think he could probably get like a good 5-7 goals this year as long as he gets like his 12 points, 15 points, what he usually gets every season. I think he'll be okay. Like if he can get 15 points, Lawton I think had around 30 something points last year, 31 maybe. If he can get in like the 20 to 30 point range, that'd be insane. And same with Lorenz, if he can, maybe put up like a good 18 points, 20 points, that'd be crazy for your fourth line. But I'm not saying Pizzetta is going to play every game, but if you look at his stats, guy's a fucking nail gun. He fights anybody, even though he doesn't win them. He doesn't win them all. But he's a great player. Apparently, such a good teammate. He's going to replace Rebo, unfortunately, but I loved Rebo. It's just He's just a younger Revo, less fighting skill, a little. I think he's a little better offensively in my opinion, but not by much. But he's really good. He's really good defensively, surprisingly, and he has the speed that Revo doesn't anymore. So he could finish those checks. He's gonna get you like 5-6 hits a game, and they're gonna be hard hits. So I mean, that's what you want. Like look at his hit count. He has an average of 291 hits in an 82 game season, which is pretty damn solid. He had 156, 239, 242, and then 73. Last year was an off year for him. Okay. And Montreal, like, I'm not a crazy Montreal hater, believe it or not. Like, don't get me wrong, they piss me off, but they're a good team. They're a good team, and they're gonna be really good in the coming years. Like their decor is gonna be insane, and obviously the forwards. But Montreal wasn't utilizing him well. He was scratched 13 out of the first 15 games. Now that just fucks with a player. And Pizzetta's talked about it on podcasts. I've listened to some of the Pizzetta podcasts, and he said it's tough. It's tough going in and out of the lineup. You kind of lose your flow basically, and they just weren't utilizing him well. So he wasn't. He didn't have that offensive touch that I'm not saying it's a big offensive touch, but he wasn't putting up points. So I think he needed a change. He was with Montreal for 3 seasons in the NHL. Actually, technically four. Sorry, he just didn't play that much last year or this past year. Um, but I think he'll be good. I think he'll come to the Leafs and he'll play pretty solid, in my opinion. Chiefs gonna love him because he puts in the work every single shift, and that's basically how you get people in Toronto to love you. Like if you're a bottom six guy, we're not expecting you to put up a shit ton of points. But as long as you show up every night, you play hard, you block shots, you lay hits, you fight for your teammates, maybe you chip in a goal once in a while, and when you do, everyone will go fucking nuts. That's pretty much all you need. So I think Pizzetta is going to be a good addition. Again, he makes league min, so if he ends up shitting the bed, you just fucking send him to the minors. It's not a big deal. The next thing I want to just quickly jump into is Ryan Reaves. He got traded to the San Jose Sharks for Henry Thrun. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but solid trade by Treliving. The fact that we got rid of Ryan Reaves, who wasn't even really playing on the team the past year, and there's no shot he was making the team this year because we got Pizzetta. That's pretty damn solid. We didn't even have to give up any picks or any sweeteners, nothing like that to take him. We actually got a young player in return with Henry Thrun. He'll be a good extra. He'll probably be like 7-8, 7th-8 D man with Philippe Myers. He's pretty solid. He had 60 NHL games, like 60 career NHL games. I think he played last year, so that's pretty damn good. I'll take that. Definitely a win on that trade. We gave up a 38-year-old for someone 14 years younger. I believe he's 24. So that's pretty damn good. I'll take that any day of the week. He probably won't play that much, but God forbid we need a defenseman because we all know you can never have too many of them. He'll be a solid addition. He's pretty big. He's like 6'2". I think he's 210 pounds, so that's pretty solid. He's not really a point guy, but he stands up for his teammates. He plays the game hard. That's pretty much all you could really ask. I think he's going to be a good addition to the team, and I think it'll help with competition. I mean, I know Benny's pretty much got his spot solidified, but if he starts slacking, that Philippe Myers and Thrun could be chasing for a spot. So I think it's a good addition. All right, I don't want to make this video too long, so we're just gonna quickly get into Dakota Joshua. I love this signing. Dude, 6'3", 206 pounds, absolute fucking monster. I love what Tree did here. We gave up a 4th-round pick in 2028, and we got a solid player. This is going to solidify the bottom six. I don't see Treliving making any more moves to the bottom six, unless, of course, they want to make some sort of addition or a backup, God forbid, some injuries happen, or maybe you send Pizzetta down if he's not playing too well. That's why I mentioned Luke Kunin before, but I mean, we'll have to see. I think our bottom six is okay right now. We'll see who ends up getting moved. I'm assuming maybe a Camp or a Yarncroke. or both would be nice. And then we'll see if maybe he makes a move at a top six winger. Now, looking at Dakota Joshua's stats, dude's solid. He had an off season last year, which everyone's talking about, but the dude had cancer. He wasn't he wasn't getting ready for the season. Wasn't at training camp. He was just kind of thrown in. Although he did play, yes, he played over 50 games, but 14 points after just having cancer like a few months ago, that's pretty damn solid. Like I don't think it's that bad considering what he's been through. I think he's gonna have a crazy bounce back year, and I think he's gonna probably get over 14, 15 goals this year. Probably end with like 30 or 32 points. That's pretty much all we could really ask of him at that point. Now the guy's a wrecking ball. He's gonna hit at everything that moves. He, I think, was seventh in the league in hits last year, and he didn't even play a full 82 game season. He would have been 100% in the top five, maybe even top three, if he played. Now, the real reason I think Tree got him is, yeah, for his size, but the dude's a stud in the playoffs. He had 8 points, 4 goals, 4 assists with Vancouver, and a good chunk of those goals were clutch goals. You know, he gets those greasy goals that you want in the playoffs, and he gets them when it matters. He'll get them. Like a couple of those goals are game winners, game tying goals. That's stuff that you need, and that's stuff that you want in the playoffs. He also had like 74 hits in the playoffs, which is insane in 13 games. He was averaging almost 6 hits a game. So the guy's a monster out there. I think he's gonna do wonders for this team. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. I hope Treliving has something else up his sleeve. You got to get rid of Yarncroke and you got to get rid of Kampf. I don't agree with getting rid of Domi unless you're bringing in like a big player that has similar qualities, like a Braden Shen or a Kadri. It is wishful thinking, but I mean it's possible. I didn't think we are gonna get Dakota Joshua. I'm not saying he's a world star player, but he's a really good player, and I think he really will solidify that bottom six, and it gives our third line identity, which it hasn't had in God knows how long. A guy who can score, get 8 points in a playoff run. It's never happened where a bottom six player had 8 points on our team. Not that I could recall. So I think it's a good pickup by Tree. I don't want this video too long, so I think I'm just gonna end it here. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Drop a comment, like, subscribe. Definitely drop a comment. I like having back and forths, and I love talking Leafs. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.